Hello, hello. So, this is like a little series that we've been doing. And so, if you have not seen the episodes before today, then you might want to go back and catch those other episodes because they are the prelude to today. Because now that you've gotten your digital product ideas ready, you might be wondering, where should I sell them? With so many online platforms to choose from, how do you know which one is right for your business? Should you go with a marketplace like Etsy, maybe build your own Shopify store? Or what about selling them directly from your personal website? Each option has its pros and its cons, and today we're going to explore them all so you can make the best decision for your digital product business when we return. Welcome back, my mompreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Making of the Mompreneur Show, where we guide moms through the journey of building their own online businesses. I'm your host, Rashida Green. I am the founder and CEO of Get Coaching, the host of this wonderful Mompreneur HQ community, and the creator of the Digimompreneur Academy, where we help moms who are determined to find time, money, and location freedom to start, grow, and scale their online business so that they can build the life of their dreams without neglecting themselves or their families in the process. And we do that through coaching, content, community, and through our Digimompreneur Academy, which we are looking to relaunch. It's coming again, y'all. So stay tuned, more details to come. But in today's episode of where to sell your digital products, Etsy, Shopify, or your own website, we are going to be talking all about choosing the right marketplace to sell your digital products. We'll dive into three major platforms, as I mentioned: Etsy, Shopify, and of course, your own personal website. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a clear understanding of the pros and cons of each, helping you figure out where to start or expand your digital empire. If you are joining us live, make sure that you put it down in the comments, hashtag live, and tell us where you're joining us from. And if you're watching the replay, we love you still. Go ahead and watch the replay and drop a hashtag replay in the comments below. And if you have been following along with us in this journey of digital products, then I know that you already have your pen, pencil, or and paper and digital device so that you can take down some notes, because we're really dropping some gems on ways that you can go ahead and get started on creating your very own digital product business. Let's jump right on in. First, we're going to look at the big picture, right? There are many places where you can sell digital products, but they generally fall into three categories. One, they're either marketplaces, and these are platforms like Etsy that already have a built in audience and handle much of the heavy lifting for you. Then there's your e commerce platforms, which, of course, Shopify, that are like Shopify, where you can create your own store and have more control over the branding, but also more responsibility. And then lastly, your personal website, your own website, which gives you complete control and freedom, but requires you to drive all the traffic. Now, let's dive deeper into each of the options and figure out which one might be the best fit for you. So let's start off with Etsy, which is one of the most popular places to sell digital products, especially for beginners. Here's why Etsy is such a great option. So this is where we get into the pros and the cons, right? So number one, it has a built-in audience. That's what we need, eyeballs on the products. Etsy is a marketplace with millions of buyers who already are searching for digital products just like yours. That means you don't have to work as hard to drive traffic to your shop because the audience is already there. In fact, they're looking for your product on Etsy when they go into the search bar. And depending on your store's ranking, I guess, with Etsy, they will promote your product. So there's so many different things with this built-in audience that really does help you when you start with an Etsy business. Also, the ease of use. Etsy's platform is very, beginner friendly. You don't need to know coding. You don't have to build a website. It's all right there for you. All you need to do is set up your shop, upload your products, and Etsy takes care of the rest, including hosting, security, and payments. So that's actually a great option when you think about ease of use for somebody who's just starting out and not really having an understanding or having all the skill set needed to build out a website and find where their audience is or create traffic. Another is SEO Advantage. Etsy is a search-based platform. So if you use the right keywords and tags, then your products can appear in the search results, giving you a better chance to rank higher and get more eyes on your products. That's right, more visibility. Now, everything is wonderful at Etsy, but then there are some cons. So we're going to talk about that too. And one of those cons may be fees. Etsy charges listing fees, transaction fees, and payment processing fees. So while the fees are relatively small, really pennies, some of them, they can add up as your shop grows. So if you have one or two items and they're taking less than $1, fine. But when you have a lot of products, those pennies do add up. Another thing with Etsy is that it's limited branding. You're part of Etsy's marketplace. So while you can customize your shop to some extent, your branding options are really limited compared to having your own website. And another option, another thing with Etsy being so large and such a search-based marketplace, there's competition. You're competing with thousands of other sellers. It can be challenging to really stand out again because you can't really brand your shop the way you really would brand it if it was your own website, right? You get this little circle for your logo or your thumbnail, and then you get this block on the top to so that you can promote your business name and whatever products, highlight whatever products that you have in the shop. But that's really all the branding opportunity that you get with the Etsy platform. So it really becomes difficult to stand out, especially when there are similar products that are available. Now we know with Amazon, which is another platform that we use for digital products as well. But even with Amazon, you have your shop or you have your page where people are allowed your author page or your business page. But if your book is of your digital product is a planner for people with ADHD, what they'll do is show other people's planners for ADHD on your as a recommendation. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to get my item sold and you repping everybody else's stuff. That happens on the Amazon platform, but it does also happen with Etsy. You have your item on there, but if there are other products that are available that are similar to your product, they're going to show those too. So that can be a drawback for the platform. But overall, Etsy is a great place to start for anyone who wants to quickly launch their digital product business with minimal setup, right? Because it's very easy. It's a step-by-step walk you through type of thing. All you got to do is follow the prompts on Etsy and you'll have your shop set up. And also, it's instant access to an audience. You don't have to build the audience because the audience is already there. And it's really ideal if you're looking for the ease of use and aren't ready to drive the traffic to the shop yourself. Now, if you can do that on top of their promotions, you are good to go. But if you are not familiar how to do that process from the beginning and you don't want to waste a lot of time trying to learn it first, I'm not even going to go into that because I struggle with, I love learning. So I struggle in that area where I want to learn everything, but then I get stuck when it comes to actually doing. So that's a side note that may be a whole nother episode. But if you don't want to, if you know you have some great products that you want to get out there, or like we have celebrations coming up, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas shopping, things like that, that you want to really just hurry up and get your product up there so you can start selling and you don't want to have to learn all the steps of how to get it to people to your website and gain that traffic, then a great way to do that would be through Etsy because they have the traffic already there. They have a step-by-step process to getting your account set up, and they don't take anything out of pocket up front. They take all those fees out of the sale of your product. Okay, so that is Etsy. Next, we're going to move on to selling on Shopify. a platform that allows you to build your own online store. And here's why Shopify is a great option for many digital product creators because one, you have total control over the branding, right? We just talked about Etsy, and all you get is this thumbnail in the box across the top. But Shopify, it really does look like an entire web page. So you get to build a fully customized store that reflects your brand, and you control the design, you control the layout, and even the customer service experience from start to finish. This allows you to be able to have total control over your branding in the process. Shopify is merely hosting the products for you. It also allows you scalability, which is another plus. It grows with you. Whether you're just starting out or you're running a full-fledged online business, Shopify's tools can support you. It also integrates with a variety of apps and services to help with marketing, customer service, and analytics. Now, everybody got apps now, but the fact that you can use a Zap to integrate things, but the fact that Shopify already has access to these other apps that can just natively integrate with the Shopify platform that will help you to again ease of use so that as you grow you can add these apps to help you grow also in your Shopify platform. Another thing with Shopify, which is a plus or a minus, depending on how you look at it, no listing fees. Unlike Etsy, Shopify doesn't charge all of these fees per product listing. Instead, you pay a monthly subscription fee, which can be more cost effective if you have a lot of products. Now, if you don't have a lot of products, let me tell you about your girl. I keep trying to figure this thing out, but depending on how many products you have, if you're selling a digital product, let's say one digital product and it's $10 and you only sell three, you may or may not be making bank because Shopify is going to take your Shopify fee, I think starts at a minimum of $25 or so. But whatever it is, you have to think about what that fee is and how many things do I need to sell in order to make a profit from the fee that they charge you to host on Shopify. Of course, there are other fees like the production fees if you have any, but if it's strictly digital and there are no other costs, then fine. But you should still also think about who's designing this, how much you're paying for the designer to create the digital product or what have you. Incorporate all that into your fees so that you are able to turn a profit. Again, that can still, depending on how many products you have, if you're able to sell enough to cover the cost, that is excellent, wonderful. That's what you want. That's a business. You want to make profit, but that is a pro. It has no listing fees. So that's a good thing to look out for. But again, we talked about pros and cons. So one of the cons is there's no built-in traffic with Shopify. Nobody goes on Shopify looking for things. So unlike Etsy, Shopify doesn't bring you any traffic. You're going to have to be responsible for driving all of the customers to your store, which means you need to focus on marketing and SEO. So if you're not good at either of those, you either have to learn it or hire somebody to do it. And so now that's another expense. Now, I mentioned that the pro was that there are no listing fees with Shopify, but the con is that there are monthly costs. Although there are no product fees, Shopify does charge this monthly fee starting at around $29 per month. And depending on which version you choose, it can be even higher, over $100. And this is going to be an ongoing expense. So if you're not generating enough sales, as I mentioned, it can be a drawback. And then there's Shopify learning curve. Yes, it's easy to use, but it's a little more complex than what you would see on Etsy. Etsy is bang, right? They tell you what you need, you get it done. And they do have tutorials along the side edges of the side of the menu to help you if you get stuck, right? But learning how to use Shopify's tools and possibly even customizing your store's code can be challenging as you navigate Shopify. But overall, Shopify is a perfect selection if you're ready to have more control over your branding and scaling your business because it does grow with you. It's ideal for sellers who want to create a unique store and are prepared to invest time and money into driving their own traffic. So that's Shopify in a nutshell. And finally, let's talk about selling on your own website. This is the most independent option, giving you complete control over every aspect of your business. And here's why some digital creators choose this route. One, we talked about it a little bit with Shopify, but you have complete control. You own your website. You own your customer information. So when they sign up, you get the email address, right? And you own your brand. And that's something that you can plaster all throughout your website. The colors, the logo, everything. So you're not subject to any marketplace rules or restrictions, which means you can sell whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, without anyone locking down your shop. I'm telling you what you cannot get or put on your page. Okay, so that is definitely a plus. When you're talking about fees, you don't have any platform fees. Now, will you have a fee for hosting your website? Sure. But you won't have any platform fee. You do have the hosting fees and other services that might be attached to your website, but there are no listing or transaction fees beyond what you agree to with your payment processor, Stripe or PayPal, which are the two of the most popular payment processing vendors. All right. Another is brand authority. Now, we talked about having complete control. Selling from your own website can make your business look more established, more professional, and really more attractive. It gives you an opportunity to create a true brand experience, which can increase customer loyalty, right? So if they know that this is your brand, they feel like they're supporting this small business or this woman-owned business or what have you, then they that and being able to get directly to your website, they feel like they're a part of the team, and that creates that increases that customer loyalty. Now we talked about the pros. We got to talk about the cons. And it is quite similar to our Shopify platform. No built-in audience. That means you are going to have to be responsible for driving all of the traffic to your website. This can be a big challenge if you're just starting out and don't have an established audience. Now, is there a way to build an audience? Absolutely. You got your social media, you got your friends and family, you got your local traffic that if you have some local businesses depending on what the product is that you're selling, you have options on how you can grow your audience. You use lead magnets to draw people in to get their email addresses. Then they end up on your email list, and then you can promote to them. Again, something that you can control, your email list, how often you promote, how often you send emails, how often you check in with your email list, right? So these are things that you can control. Although it can be a learning curve because you have to learn all these ins and outs on how to get traffic, how to get your product in front of people, right? That visibility, it is going to be a work. So that is considered a con in this is the grand scheme of this lesson on today. Having total control. If you have the know-how, it can actually work out for you because we talked about some of those pros being that you don't have to worry about those fees, right? Because both of those platforms will have some fees associated with them, and they may not come out of your pocket directly at the time of sale, but you will be paying those fees, right? Now, another con for doing having it on your own website is that there is maybe technical setup that is needed. So setting up your own website is going to be a lot more complicated than your Etsy, which comes with all these little steps, and you know how to just answer the steps, and then you have a store, or Shopify, which again is more complex but still has a step-by-step process of how they want you to open up or brand your store. They have these things to help you, but with your own website, now you have to get this all tech set up, and it might be challenging if you are not tech savvy, right? I mentioned Zaps a few moments ago, which is Zapier, that you can connect different platforms. Like you can use Zaps to connect your payment processor to your website and things like that. But if you don't know about Zap, you're going to have some challenges. Again, you'll need to choose a hosting provider. You're going to have to set up the e-commerce features, and some of the web hosting does not automatically come with e-commerce platforms or e-commerce features. So you'd have to find out if they have the e-commerce features, and then once you find out if they have them, you got to figure out how to get them on your site, and if it's going to be a secondary app that you need to connect. So it gets real sketchy when we talk about tech setup, which is why a lot of people just default to these other methods. And another thing you might even have to do is think about hiring a web designer if you're not tech savvy, right? Someone's going to have to set up their page, like the things I've been learning about above the fold, and I, it I'm not tech savvy. So all that stuff is something that you would need to know in order to set up your store on your own website. And then you have the regular things like maintenance. You'll be responsible for maintaining your website. Now, with your website, there are some things, even on the shop, some things that you would need to have on a regular basis, like your privacy policies, the disclaimers, and all the different regulatory verbiage you need to have on your website. So that's something you're going to have to learn about and manage. You'll also have to make sure that you have all the most recent updates on your website and whatever hosting platform that you use. You got to make sure that your site is always secure. You have to have those backups so that if anything goes down, you have backups to all of your website information. And then if there are any technical issues, like if your customer saying, I'm trying to buy this product, but it got stuck or it charged my account twice. These are things you have to be concerned with, more than concerned with. You got to be able to solve for as an independent business owner using your own website if you are not tech savvy. So all of those things would be huge drawbacks for somebody who's in the beginner level of starting a business. But your own website is actually the best choice if you want full independence and total control over your business. It's ideal for sellers who are confident in driving their own traffic and are ready to invest in building a brand that stands on its own. And I dare say that is willing to invest in a web designers and people in a team that's going to be able to help you to sustain and maintain that website and that e-commerce business. And so that's really those three are the options. I'm not going to tell you which one that you should go with, but I tell you Shopify and your own site are pretty close because they allow you to do pretty much the same thing. The only variation is the total control and the fees. So you do have control over your brand, over your web page, the way it looks on Shopify. Yeah, and then they just charge you fees. So those two are the closest together. But let's just take a look at a recap of all three of them. We said that Etsy is great for beginners with it has a built-in audience and it's easy to use, but you'll face fees and competition. We noted that Shopify gives you full control over your branding and scalability, but you'll need to drive your own traffic and pay monthly fees. Okay, did I say that was the difference? What a difference? Yeah, monthly fees. I did say that. And then you have your own website. This offers the ultimate freedom and no platform fees, but you'll need to handle traffic, technical setup, as well as ongoing maintenance. So, how do you decide if you're just starting out and want a quick, easy way to get your products in front of customers? Etsy is going to be your best bet. If you're ready to build your own brand and handle your marketing, Shopify is a fantastic middle ground. And if you want to have complete control and the freedom to build your brand long term, then your own website is the way to go. So those are the three options that I would roll with. I'm actually talking to people about Etsy, and that's the direction that I'm going with these digital product conversations with our next membership. It's going to be about setting up, creating your own digital products and being able to sell them on Etsy. Of course, we'll have the option for you to learn how to set up on your own website, but Etsy is likely going to be the place that I stick with for a while. Now, there are plenty of people who will tell you, no, go with your own website. Oh, no, go with Shopify. It's going to be your decision ultimately. That's where I am. I think Etsy for me is where I want to be. And so when we're talking about this digital product business series, we're going to be talking about how to get these things set up on Etsy and how to choose your products, how to set them up, which platform to use. And yeah, that's where we're going with our digital product conversation here at the Mompreneur HQ. So there you have it. Choosing the right platform is one of the most important decisions that you'll need to make when starting out your digital product business. But remember, you can always start on one platform and expand to others as your business grows. Whether it's Etsy, Shopify, or your own website, there's no wrong choice, just the right choice for where you are in your journey right now. If you found today's episode helpful, please make sure that you subscribe, share with another mompreneur, and stay tuned for more business building tips. I'm so excited that we were able to help you out with this topic on today, where to sell your digital products, Etsy, Shopify, or your own website. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how you grow in your business and how this series can help you. And if you've gotten some great nuggets and gems from today's episode, go ahead and drop it in the comment field. That helps our business to grow. It helps to give us direction on if we're going in the right direction with our topics. And it really does help us to come up with more content to better serve you. And if you keep on creating and keep on building the life that you want through digital products, we're going to be here, right here for you to walk you through those steps. Until next time.